Emmerdale has revealed an early preview of Dr. Caitlin Todd's next step as her mistreatment of Jacob Sugden carries on. As part of a continuing issue-based storyline, the ITV drama shows the trainee being intimidated and controlled by his superior at the hospital. In Wednesday's 6th May episode, Jacob is seen pushing a stroller with baby Layla while walking through the village. Now that Dr. Todd has moved nearby, she notices him and approaches, making snide remarks about him being on paternity leave. During the exchange, Dr. Todd points out that his co-worker Richard is excelling while he is away. Before leaving, she adds that he still has options, either return to his job or remain at home questioning how to care for his child. The encounter leaves Jacob feeling unsettled, and he grows frustrated with her behaviour. Although they had recently agreed to start over, the scene makes it clear that his troubles with Dr. Todd are far from finished. In episodes airing this week, his manipulative supervisor will set him up after he files an official complaint, deliberately making him appear to be the one at fault. Discussing the character's future at the hospital, the actor who portrays Jacob explained that everything is reaching a breaking point for him. However, he remains committed to the profession he always wanted, especially because Layla had been so proud of his achievements. That thought continues to drive him, as he refuses to walk away and wants to prove his strength and ability. He may have many flaws, but giving up is not one of them. The actor also noted that, for now, Jacob plans to keep going and face the situation head-on. Even though it would be understandable for him to step back, he tends to push himself further, which often leads him into even more difficult circumstances. Emmerdale has unveiled a shocking twist involving Bear Wolf, as he is left reeling from a painful betrayal during his intense court case, where he appears alongside Paddy Dingle and Dylan Penders over the killing of Ray Walters. Earlier in the year, Bear took Ray's life after enduring a traumatic experience at Celia Daniels' farm, with Paddy and Dylan witnessing the incident. Following a lengthy investigation, authorities ultimately charged Bear with murder. The latest episode opens with Bear getting ready for court, as his solicitor outlines that the prosecution will present their argument first, followed by the defense. He is also told that Simo, who was present at the farm, has agreed to give evidence in his favour. With Dylan, Paddy, April Windsor, and Simo all expected to testify, the lawyer reassures Bear that things appear promising and suggests he may not even need to take the stand due to the number of witnesses supporting him. Jacob Sugden is called first to testify, speaking about a previous encounter with Bear at the hospital. April is then questioned, followed by Dylan, who recounts the distressing abuse he suffered at the hands of Celia and Ray, before describing the events surrounding Ray's death. Paddy then takes the stand and faces tough questioning from the prosecution about his involvement in disposing of Ray's body. As the details grow increasingly disturbing, April leaves the courtroom, with Marlon choosing to take her out. Simo is the final witness to speak that day, and he initially describes Ray's violent nature when angered. However, rather than helping Bear's case, he claims that Bear was actually Ray's favourite. He goes on to list the supposed privileges Bear received, failing to recognise that these were manipulative tactics used to control him. Before stepping down, Simo angrily insists that Bear was not a victim during his time at the farm. Paddy reacts with frustration, fearing that Simo's testimony has severely damaged their defence. The solicitor admits it was a gamble that has gone wrong and reveals they will now take a drastic step, with Bear preparing to give his own evidence in court. Emmerdale teases emotional scenes ahead as Kane faces his upcoming surgery, fearing it could destroy both his life and his relationship with Moira. If a marriage can endure betrayal as shocking as a partner's affair with a family member, you might think it could handle anything. Yet for Kane, coming to terms with his prostate cancer diagnosis has been a real struggle. Although he needs surgery, his anxiety about the aftermath is making him question what lies ahead for his marriage. The procedure had previously been delayed after an exhausted Jacob accidentally knocked him down with a car, leaving Kane too hurt to undergo the operation. This setback not only increased the risk to his health, but also gave him more time to dwell on his fears. Moira's return from prison might have been expected to bring him comfort and strength, but instead it has intensified his worries. He has become consumed by the idea that the surgery could change their relationship, convinced that a lack of intimacy might drive Moira away. Before the appointment, Kane finally begins to share his concerns with Moira. However, when his close friend Liam offers support, Kane admits he has even considered cancelling the surgery altogether. Meanwhile, Moira opens up to Chas, acknowledging that their once stable relationship now feels fragile, and speaking it aloud makes the situation feel even more serious. Despite everything, they have reached this point together, and Kane ultimately keeps the operation scheduled. He has an honest conversation with Moira about how things might change, and she reassures him that they will face whatever comes as a team. The question now is whether Kane will truly accept her reassurance or remain trapped in his fears. Emmerdale has shown Dawn Fletcher setting her scheme in motion as she begins plotting Joe Tate's downfall in the latest episode. She takes her first calculated steps toward manipulating him to achieve her own goals. Earlier in the week, Dawn struck a deal with Moira and Kane Dingle to strip Joe of his fortune and split it between them as payback for his actions, which led to Moira's imprisonment and the loss of their farm. However, they agreed she would need to act carefully. No easy task, given how cunning both Joe and Graham Foster can be. The episode opens with Kim congratulating Dawn on the upcoming addition to the Tate family, prompting Dawn to confront Joe for announcing the pregnancy news before she had even attended her scan. Later, Dawn struggles to hide her frustration when Joe decides to increase Robert Sugden's rent, justifying it with business reasoning and the fact that he can. Even Kim sides with Dawn on this issue. The atmosphere softens when Dawn shares her baby scan with her son Lucas, describing how they, along with Evan and Clemmy, will soon be one big happy family, noticeably leaving Joe out of the picture. Joe then arrives, and once Lucas leaves, Dawn presents her fiancé with a suggestion. She proposes moving the wedding date forward, explaining that she wants to look her best and establish their family before the baby is born. Joe quickly agrees, clearly pleased, and begins showing affection, but Dawn pulls back, blaming pregnancy sickness and asking for some space. As soon as he exits, her cheerful expression fades, revealing her true feelings. The question remains whether she can successfully carry out her plan, or if her obvious resentment will give everything away. Emmerdale is broadcast on weekday evenings at 8 p.m. on ITV1, and episodes are also available to stream from 7 a.m. on ITVX and YouTube.